Greetings and hello, Waynesville Yoga family. How are you? Welcome. My name is Renee, and this class is Flow and Align. So for today's class, we are going to just focus on some very slow moving, purposeful, long holds, yin alignment stretches. Again, going back to our functional alignment practices where we are taking time to make sure we're really targeting in on those parts of the body that the posture is intended to focus on, and making sure that we are having proper alignment, we're using our tools if needed to make sure that we are defaulting, quote unquote, to that positioning within our bodies. Now the thing with alignment, and the thing actually not even just with alignment, but with yoga in general, the thing to remember is that it's about how it feels in your body. So it may not be your expression of the pose may not be the Instagram version of the pose, but those are it is what it is. But that being said, this is all about your expression, your body, yourself, and making sure that your yoga is designed for you. And when doing that, it's about making sure when you get into a posture that you are focusing on the positioning, the alignment in your body, and that I always say this, that you're always working smarter, not harder. This isn't about you really overtaxing your body and trying to do things that don't work for you. We want to make sure that you are doing your yoga in postures that suit you. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. You're going to notice today that we're going to just focus on some pretty basic moves, but again, it's about the alignment in those moves. So hope you enjoy it, and let's go ahead and get started in our practice. Before we do, a couple of things. We are going to be utilizing some props today, and I always like to have what I call the big three props available. And for me, those are what I think are the most versatile because they can be interchanged, and not only can they be interchanged, they work well for just about every single yoga posture there is. So the first thing is the yoga blanket, of course. This can be just any old standard blanket. You just want to make sure that you fold it up. You get a nice little good cushion if you're going to use it for cushioning for knees. You can also utilize this to get a little height. If you don't want height as high as a bolster, and you want something a little softer than a block, a blanket or two rolled up to sit on is really great. Secondly, our yoga bolster, which is really great for getting height. When you are practicing, it also provides you with a sturdier support than, say, a blanket. So if you don't have an actual traditional yoga bolster, something sturdy like a couch cushion will work as a substitute. Just make sure it's got decent height on it. It's about roughly equivalent in length and width. Again, make sure that it's sturdy, so when you use it to get your height and your lift, that it doesn't sink down or crush in on you. And then lastly, your yoga blocks. These are your standard, typical, everyday yoga blocks. Super, super cheap on Amazon. But if you don't have blocks, something of equivalent size will substitute, but keep in mind that you want to make sure that it's sturdy, so it's not going to crush down on you when you utilize it. Blocks are really great for length and support, and you want to make sure that when you're pressing down on them, that they're going to support your weight and not give way on you. But Again, another wonderful, versatile tool. And like I said, these can all, in some way or another, as you advance along in your yoga practice, or if you're already advanced, you know that you can use these interchangeably. And sometimes you'll find that, say you're doing a supported bridge, for instance, some days you may want the block to help support your lift. Some days you may want the bolster. It's just going to depend. You know, some days you may not want any support at all. So again, it just depends on how you feel, what your practice is for that day. The wonderful thing about these videos is you can come back again and again, and you can do the practice differently the next time. You know, maybe you used blocks today, but next time you're going to try a bolster. Who knows? Have fun with it. That's all that matters. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and begin. We are going to start in easy seat position. So with easy seat, the thing to keep in mind here is you want to make sure that you've got decent support. You know, if you find that the floor is fine, that's great. You also, if you find that your knees are raising up pretty high, you want to get some lift in those hips, because you want to make sure that you can kind of roll forward just a little tiny bit on that sacrum, so you can get a nice long tall spine and a nice long line of energy from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. So go ahead and find your position. Go ahead and get comfy, settle in. And again, like I said, I'm using a blanket to sit on just because I like the little bit of cushion that it provides. But if you want height, you're welcome to use a block. You could also put a blanket over the block, or you could use the bolster if you really want to get some height. All right, so just go ahead and close your eyes. Just begin to focus in on you and bring yourself into this space right here, right now. Take a nice deep breath in and a nice cleansing breath out. Beautiful, nice deep breath in and cleansing breath out. Nice. Now begin to just focus and tune in to the rhythm of your natural breath. Take a nice cooling inhale and feel that warming exhale. And as you settle in and focus in on your breath, begin to introduce Ujjayi breathing. You'll notice that when you introduce that breath, it's going to start to introduce just a little bit of heat into the body. And you're going to have that nice oceanic rustling sound in the back of the throat. Beautiful. And as you focus and center in today, take this time and this moment to really set yourself into this space, into your body. Be mindful of your place in space and time right now. Be here, be present on your mat, be aware of your body. And I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. It can be something you want to achieve by the end of the practice, the end of the day, the end of the month. However it suits you, it's yours and yours alone. Beautiful. Now let's begin to just introduce a little warming up in those shoulder blades. So just as you inhale, go ahead and bring those shoulders up towards the ears in a circular motion. And then as you exhale, slide them down your back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and release. Beautiful. Now going back in the opposite direction. Just inhale on the up, exhale, and roll those shoulders forward. Just warming up that shoulder joint. Warming up the shoulder blades and the back muscles. Beautiful. On your next exhale, find stillness at the bottom of that movement. And go ahead and inhale your arms up and exhale them down. Inhale up and exhale down. And now as you inhale, find what your default is. And when you get to the top of that movement, pause for a moment. Where are your shoulders in that movement? Are they way up here? Are you feeling tension? Are you holding tension here? If so, just take a moment, take those shoulder blades, slide them back and down. You're gonna find you're gonna get a little more lift in those arms when you do that. Beautiful. And remember, when you're in these positions, so anytime you're seated, you've got that nice long spine, core is tight, and you are maintaining just good form and posture. You're rooted down in the hips. You're rising through on the upper body. Beautiful. Exhale down. Last time. Inhale up. Notice where you are at the top of that movement. Exhale down. Beautiful. On your next inhale, go ahead and exhale that right arm down and lean over to the right. Now again, with alignment, hips should be down. Your torso should be facing forward. The movement or the stretches in the side body here. So you want to make sure that when you're coming over and above, that you're not rotating and twisting. This is not the movement here. The movement is here. Feel the difference in your body. Go ahead and try and notice the difference. Notice the muscles that are impacted when you change. Beautiful. So go ahead and inhale that arm up. Exhale, come to the other side. Again, notice that feeling. Where are you feeling it? Make sure you're not here. We're here. Beautiful. Inhale up. One more time, each side, and just move to your breath, but keep the movement kind of slow and gentle because we're still warming up. Then on your inhale, bring your arms up. And then as you exhale, go ahead and twist over to the right, a real gentle twist for now to start. Again, hips are rooted, shoulders are nice and straight. When you go to twist, you're bringing the whole upper body over to twist. It's not an arm movement. You're not doing this. It's the whole body. So the twisting motion is in your torso. You're really maximizing that compression on the organs and really working out those toxins. Beautiful. Inhale up. And then exhale over to the other side again. Just a gentle twist to start. Go ahead and inhale up again to your breath, but take your time. Don't rush it. Let's do that one more time. Just one more time each side. Beautiful. Exhale. Inhale back to center. And then exhale down. Wonderful. Now from your position, go ahead and roll over onto your hands and knees. I'm going to turn to the side. And if you'd like, now is a good time to grab your blanket if you want a little bit of extra cushion under those knees. And then go ahead and find your tabletop. Beautiful. Now, with your alignment, you want to make sure wrist is in line with shoulders, knees in line with hips. And go ahead and inhale, drop that belly, lift that chin for cat, and exhale for cow. Inhale up, exhale down. Now in this position, one of the beautiful things about cat-cow that people underappreciate is that it's actually really a great ab exercise. So you want to make sure abs are tight and that when you're arching up, you're really doing it with purposeful intention, right? So you're not just flopping down and flopping up. You're really taking that time to really extend and contract those muscles. And exhaling and just really crunching in. When you go in for that cow, not only are you warming up the back muscles, lower back, upper back, but you're also working those ab muscles. Look, a lot of the times what people fail to realize sometimes is that we're always working our abs. They're one of the easiest things to work because as long as you're keeping your core contracted and you're maximizing your core movement within positions, you're going to really make a difference in those abs. Beautiful, and it's so critical in yoga. Abs are important for core strength. And they form the abs form the core, forms the foundation for a lot of yoga postures. So having a nice strong core will really help you in terms of achieving various poses. Beautiful. Now find stillness. Now go ahead and just take a moment. You just want to kind of rock back, forth, maybe do a few hip circles, warming up those hip joints. Beautiful. Maybe a few in one direction, few in another. Excellent. Again, just finding some organic movement to warm up those hips. In addition to the back, you should start feeling a little bit of warmth coming through the body now. Beautiful. Now come in and find stillness. And come down to your elbows and form your hands. Clasp your hands together so your arms come into a diamond-shaped position. Now bring your head to the floor. And tuck your knees in a little bit. And then go ahead and lift those hips and come on up to sort of a modified dolphin pose. This is more of a headstand prep, but it's a really great energizer for the body because you're going to get a little heat in the body, and you're really just focusing in on, you're not coming into a headstand, but you're just focusing in on really getting into that position. Now, if this is not comfortable for you, you're welcome to come into more of a dolphin pose where your head is not on the ground, it's not meeting the ground, but you're in roughly the same position, nice tight abs, core, head is lifted up off the ground. Just hold and breathe here. Really, again, this is a great shoulder strengthener, back strengthener, tightening and holding your core. And then as you are propped up with your legs up, you are generating that heat in your body and really getting that blood flowing. Beautiful. And it's really great if you're in headstand prep. This is a really great one to just sort of take a moment, start to lift one leg, lift the other, start to prep yourself for a headstand. Beautiful. Come on down, bring those knees down, and then sink back into your child's pose. Now take whichever variation of child's pose you'd like. You can have your arms out, or you can come into your your core variation of Flow+Align. Beautiful. Now come on up to Thunderbolt pose. Just take a moment here. I like to take a pause in between postures, or every so many postures, just to take a check-in of where we are in our bodies right now. Beautiful. Now roll over to hands and knees. Readjust your body if you need to. And then begin to walk those hands out. Stretch those shoulders out and come into puppy pose. And hold. And this is going to be a great shoulder stretch, back stretch. You're really going to feel it in that area. So just take your time, breathe into it, enjoy the movement. Beautiful. Again, core is nice and tight. Shoulders are getting a lovely stretch. Beautiful job. Breathe here. Excellent, excellent job. Now, a couple of variations to think of. Just depends on how much movement you have, and I think it's also going to depend a little bit on how warm your body is too, right? So how much movement you have in your upper chest and neck. You have the option to place your chin on the floor. In the puppy dog pose, you can put your chin on the floor, or you can do your forehead. Just whichever works for your body. There's no right or wrong. It's just going to depend on what feels good for you today. Beautiful. You know, we just did some strengthening in those shoulders with our dolphin and headstand prep, and now we're taking the time to stretch those shoulders back out. Beautiful job. Hold and breathe here. A couple more breaths. Beautiful. Now come on up. Back to your tabletop. Go ahead and move those knees back a little bit, because what you want to do is give yourself enough room so you can roll forward onto your belly. Beautiful. And then here, go ahead and take your hand behind your back. Go ahead and bring those feet close together, and on the inhale, lift into locust. Beautiful. Hold and breathe here. And release. Beautiful. And go ahead and you can bring your hands down into like a crocodile pose and just breathe here. Working on that low back. Working that low back. Beautiful. Now prepare for your next locust. Bring your hand behind your back. Feet together. Go ahead and inhale and lift. Hold and breathe here. Now, with your locust, something to keep in mind is that the action that you're feeling is in your low back. So, in your mid back. So if you come up to like right here in like a baby cobra and just take notice of sort of that feeling of where that stimulus is, in the mid to low back, you're getting that nice back bend. That's where you want to feel it in your locust. So just take your time, hold and breathe. Beautiful back bend. This is such a great, as a side note, it's a great immunity booster. It puts pressure right on your thymus and releases some really great hormones into your body. So just breathe, 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 and hold. Hold and breathe. And go ahead and release on down. And if you're in, you can either just go ahead and lay your hands down by your side and turn your head to one side, or you can come down into your crocodile pose. And now we're going to do our getting ready for our last and best locus. So go ahead and begin to prep and bring your arms behind your back. Clasp those hands if you can. And then go ahead as you inhale, lift and fly. Beautiful. Hold and breathe. Hold and breathe. Hold and breathe. And then release. Beautiful. Now from here, go ahead and bring your hands flat to the mat. You want to prop yourself up on your elbows. And now from here, just bring the tips of your elbows here, just a little bit ahead of the shoulder. So you feel that nice sort of almost, and then place your hands on the ground and then just kind of drag on the floor. So you feel almost like a lift, like you're pulling your body. Again, maintain tightness in the core. Breathe, come into your Sphinx. Chin is up. A lot of the times, for whatever reason, sometimes our tendency in Sphinx is to want to drop the chin. You want to think of what the Sphinx, the real Sphinx looks like, right? The chin is up, high. Hold, beautiful. Feel that wonderful contraction in the back. Beautiful back bend. Hold and breathe here. I love this pose. It's one of my favorites. Always has been. I don't know. We all have our favorites. Hold here and breathe. Beautiful. Go ahead and release on down. Plant those hands next to your chest. Go ahead and push on up. And set those hips back and down into child's pose. Beautiful. And we just did these amazing back bends. So you want to make sure that you're really using that child's pose. Push those hands into the mat. Really get that nice release in that lower back. Beautiful. Come on up to hands and knees. Go ahead and find, if you need to readjust your positioning, go ahead. And then on your next inhale, bring your right leg out. Excellent. And then if you're ready, take your left hand up. This again, bird dog. Another wonderful, wonderful core strengthener. Really a wonderful, it really works all dimensions of the core because you're getting both that front and that back, and with the asymmetrical movements, you're working a little bit of the obliques on either side, not the full side, but you're working right in here. Beautiful. And now, on your next exhale, go ahead and crunch it in. Inhale up. Crunch it in. Go ahead and inhale up. Crunch it in. Exhale. Go ahead and inhale and extend. Then as you exhale, go ahead and reach back, grab that foot, and come into half bow. And with half bow, shoulders are pointed forward, you're reaching back, but you're not biasing, you're not twisting. So you want to make sure you're reaching back, shoulders are pointed forward, grabbing that foot. You're also getting that back bend again, through the arch in the back. Oops, one leg. A beautiful lift, core is tight. Release, and down. Beautiful. A setup for bird dog and half bow on the other side. Inhale that left leg up. When you're ready, go ahead and bring that right leg, or excuse me, that right arm. So and go ahead and inhale and extend, and then exhale and squeeze. The other thing to keep in mind here is that if you're having wrist issues, or if for some reason it's not feasible for you to put pressure all the way on one arm, you can always just hold here and then just crunch it in with both hands on the ground. Beautiful. Last time, crunch it in, then inhale it up, then exhale and come into your half bow. Again, this position works so many different muscles. We're stretching our quad, we're getting a nice strength in our body, strengthening that core, getting a nice back bend action. So it's one of those wonderful multifaceted positions. Now, if you're having wrist issues, you can always do half bow on the floor. You can just come to a prone position and engage in bow there. Then that way you could prop up on the elbow. And then you're not putting that pressure on the wrists. Beautiful. Go ahead and release that bow. And then come back down, hands and knees. Beautiful. Again, one more time. Sink into child's pose. Really push into those hands. Stretch out that lower back. Breathe here. And go ahead and begin to walk your hands toward your knees. Come into thunderbolt pose. And just hold here for a moment. Beautiful. Just take a moment and just engage in this really lovely quad stretch. Core is nice and tight. Again, like with easy seat, got that nice long line of energy. From the base of the spine all the way to the crown of the head. So we're rooted down in the hips, in the thighs, in the tops of our feet. We're rooted down and we're rising from the base of the spine all the way through the crown of the head. Just take this moment here to pause, notice how your body feels, and thank yourself and your body for all of the amazing things that it does. Beautiful. Now to continue on and round out our back bend series, come on up to high knees and prep for half camel. So for camel, couple of things. Hip bones are forward, shoulders are forward, same like with the half bow, we're going to be in an asymmetrical movement, but you want to make sure that the shoulders are facing forward, hips are forward, we're not biasing to one side. Now, the other thing with camel is Should my feet be flat like this, or can I tuck? I'm a toe tucker. That's how I learned it. There's really no difference. Go with what works for your body. You know, I've done it both ways. I just tend to go to the toe tuck, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the way I look at it is you're also getting a nice little extra stretch in the bottom of the feet. So prep for half camel. Again, take hands, bring them around behind you, set them on the tops of your hips. Like you're getting ready to stick your hands into back pockets. Go ahead and squeeze those elbows in. And then begin to slowly press out those hips. Press them forward. Arch back. Only go to the degree that's comfortable for your neck. Some people have a high range of motion, others not so much. Then when you're ready, reach back for that heel. And then lift that arm up and come into your half camel. Beautiful. And the action here is in the back, low back, getting that back bend. The action is also in the fronts of the hips. You're going to feel a stretch here. Beautiful. Hold and breathe here. Excellent. Now come on up. And sit back down on those heels. Beautiful. Just take a moment. Notice the two sides of the body, how differently they feel. Now come on up to high knees. Prep for camel on the other side. Begin to push, get your hands in the position, elbows in. Begin to push those hips forward. Lean on back. When you're ready, reach for that heel. And lift on up. Now, something to keep in mind. Props. So, if you are finding that you're having a hard time reaching your heel, if your back isn't quite ready for that full bend, you can always use props. You bring your block to about where your heel would be, and then when you're in your position, you can use the block as your support as opposed to the heel. So a wonderful variation. You're still going to get, again, whether you're using the prop or you're using your hands, you are still going to get the benefit of the pose if your alignment focus is correct. Beautiful. Come on up, high knees. Then bring it down, thunderbolt. Hold for a moment, and then go ahead and sink on into child's pose. Releasing that back. Counteracting that back bend. Breathe deeply. Beautiful. Go ahead and when you're ready, roll on back up to Thunderbolt. And now, slide those heels on around and come to sit on your bum. Beautiful. And before we come into our supine position, we're going to do a few boats, getting in a little extra ab work here. So, with boat, wonderful core strengthener, because just being here in level 1, you're already getting the benefit of the pose. How am I doing that? Well, you're doing that by making sure that the line from the base of the spine to the crown of the head is straight. And we're not here, we're here. You want to make sure you have a nice long line because you're already engaging that core and tightening and strengthening. Now, if you want to intensify, lift the hands. Beautiful. You want to intensify more? You can lift the feet. You want to intensify even more? Get straight in the feet. If you want to intensify even more, you can lift the arms. Find whichever one works for you. I always recommend doing a little bit of each, right? So if you're here today, start here. And by the way, you are holding and breathing and holding your boat. But you can start here, if that's where you are today. And then maybe you can just lift the feet. Hold it for a few breaths, maybe one, and then go ahead and come back down. But just try to level up. Notice your positioning as you're moving. Just testing a little bit, going to your edge. And then if you find you have to back off your edge a little bit, that's perfectly fine. And go ahead and come back to an easy seat. Hold here and breathe. Keep a nice long line, tight core. Breathe here. Beautiful. Love boat. One of my absolute favorites. All right, second and last round of boat. Go ahead and set up for your position. Feet flat on the floor. Start to lean back that upper body. Where are you going with your boat now? Are you here with your hands on your knees? If you are, you're engaging the core. Got that nice long back. You're getting the work in. Arms lifted? Maybe today. What about those feet? Those feet coming up? Awesome, great job. Are they straightening? Woo, look at you work. Are the arms coming up? Oh my goodness. Find what works for you. I'm just having some fun. Find what works for you and hold and breathe. And let that core get really shaky. Like you're gonna find, you might find you're like, oh gosh, how am I holding on? Hold it, work that core. Woo, get that work in. Hold here. The other thing to think about also is the shoulders. We tend to hold tension in our shoulders. So be sure, just check in on your body, because if you're here, but your shoulders are way up here, just take a minute, bring the shoulders down, relax the neck, hold that body, let the action be in your core. Your core is what's supporting you. Okay, a couple more breaths. I know y'all are shaking out there right now. Hold your breath. And then go ahead and lower on down, not to easy seat, but to low boat. And then come on down. Beautiful job, everyone. Great work. Boat, it's a toughie, but it's a fun one. So go ahead and bring your feet flat to the floor. Go ahead and take your knees as far apart as the edge of the mat. So the edge of your feet are as far apart as the edge of the mat. And then just go ahead and let your knees fall in for constructive rest. And just take a moment here just to breathe and release. You're gonna feel a little release in the low back. So hold and breathe here. Feel that belly start to release. Feel that back start to release. Now go ahead and bring your knees back up. And then go ahead and windshield wiper legs to one side. Inhale up and go to the other side. And if you find, and just do this to your natural breath. So inhaling up, exhaling down to one side, inhaling up and exhaling down to the other side. And if you find along this journey that there's a spot along the way that really feels like you need some extra love, or you just hit that spot and you're just like, oh, I need this in my life for, just a minute more. Go ahead and hold and breathe into that space. That is really being mindfully aware of your body and what it needs. Find those little spaces and hold them if you need to. I'll give you a couple more breaths here in case you're holding in any one position and you want to move on over to another. Inhaling up and exhaling to the other side. And then go ahead and bring it back to center. And then here, start to bring your heels towards your bum. Place your hands by your hips. Go ahead and press into the ground with those heels. Begin to lift those hips on the inhale. And come into your bridge. Bridge is a wonderful post-core exercise because it teaches the belly to release the contraction of the core muscles. Beautiful. Hold here, a couple more breaths. And then go ahead and release those hands if they're clasped underneath. And bring that bum down to the floor. Beautiful. Now go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. Just hold and squeeze here. Beautiful. Now stretch that left leg long. Bring that right leg in. Hold and stretch. And then on your exhale, bring that knee across the body and reach your arm out long for a nice supine twist. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back to center. Bring that knee in. One last time. Go ahead and stretch it on out. Again, take this moment just to notice how different the two sides of the body feel. Now let's equalize it out. Go ahead and bring that left leg in. Hold and stretch and breathe. When you're ready, your next exhale, bring that knee across the body and take your arm out to the side. Now, you're welcome to bring a support here if your knee doesn't fall all the way to the floor. Not required, but just a demonstration of how you can use a block in this position. Arm is out to the other side. Your shoulder blades are flat on the floor. If you can, look in the opposite direction. Breathe into that twist. Beautiful. Now come back up to center. Take a moment here. Bring those knees into the chest. Grab the soles of those feet and come into happy baby. Really pull down the soles stretch out that lower back and those hips. And then go ahead and release. And just bring those legs up to the sky. Lift up a wall. This is wonderful. Ending of the practice exercise facilitates relaxation and recirculates the blood flow throughout the body. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bring those feet into the chest. Come on in and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And on your next exhale, go ahead and release into your final rest. And that could be a variety of things. For me, traditionally, it's Shavasana, or corpse pose. For me today, it's going to be Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound ankle. Just go ahead and breathe and release. Allow the ground to support you. Just go ahead and let go. If you have an eye pillow or any other device, support that helps facilitate your relaxation, go ahead and sit down. Wrap up in a blanket. You can cuddle with your kitty. As you spend these last few moments in your Shavasana, just take this time to relax and enjoy the wonderful feelings in your body. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate your time. Relax and enjoy the rest of your time in Shavasana. forward to seeing you next time.